Are you ready to make your week go a little bit more smoothly by planning in a more effective way? If yes, then today's video is for you because we are going to plan my week together, and I will offer just a few couple strategies that I use for myself just to make planning go more smoothly so I have a great week. So if you've been following along in this series, you have already set up a digital calendar. We've had a quick little chat about building consistent habits around using your digital calendar. And today we're going to work together to plan in a way that feels achievable and not overwhelming. In my last video, we had discussed how a digital calendar can and should ultimately be a tool for more freedom in your life, with the idea of incorporating flexibility into the schedule, but also, building up that mindset and skill set of planning in a way that you can show up for the things you're going to show up for when you say you're going to. For example, frizzy hair day. Wanted time to do my hair for this video, but I ran out of time and this was my scheduled time to show up and I don't have any other time. So we're going to do it frizzy. So today we're going to be practicing Sunday hour one or Monday hour one, which is a term that I got from Brooke Castillo at the Life Coach School. She uses that phrase for it, and I love that phrase. And ultimately what that means is on a Sunday or early Sunday morning, once you get into work, you dedicate 1 hour of time. To be honest, it takes me like 15 to 20 minutes because I've been doing it for so long, but whatever time allotment, that you need, and you plan out your week, the entire week. And yes, you put every single thing on your calendar. That includes tasks, appointments, meetings, your workout routine, and you will get the hang of how granular you need to be as you begin to build up the habit of using your calendar and choosing what works for you. All right, so let's pop over into the calendar. Where do I want to put my floating head? Let's put it here. And I am going to build out the next week. This isn't my actual calendar because you would probably feel overwhelmed if you saw my calendar. I'm not overwhelmed by it, but I put every single thing on my calendar and I love it. It works for me. And I think it can work for most people. So I really encourage my clients, friends, family, you dear viewer, my new friend, to first schedule your downtime, your family time. For me, what that usually looks like is my Sundays. I try to block those for just personal time. And one Sunday a month, I really try to leave this completely blank. So no errands, nothing planned. I like to hold some space in my life for other opportunities to come my way, whether that's just deep rest or some puzzle time or going on, a hike with my husband, whatever it may be. I really like to hold that space for at least one Sunday a month for absolutely nothing. Okay, so let's look at Monday through Friday. I really believe in the power of having time to do emails and kind of your daily setup. When getting into the office, for me, I like to take that hour every morning. It's usually from 9 to 10. And I'm going to have that repeat every weekday and save that. I usually do focus work in the morning. And I again will repeat that, and I like to schedule about 3 hours for focus work. And then I like to do lunch and a workout midday typically. I'm going to change that calendar to personal. And I'm going to also have that repeat Monday through Friday. And then from 2 to 4, I typically do client meetings. I also take clients in the morning depending on their preference and time zone. But typically I do client work, client projects, anything that I'm working on for them. I'll do that. And I will schedule the actual meeting, right? We'll just pretend I have a client meeting here. Let's say I have a kiddo where I do school drop off. And let's say I just named her Julie for the purposes of this video. And notice you can also do daily, which would be Sunday through Saturday. You can just have it on every Monday, monthly on the 3rd, annually. You can also customize it. So let's say you and your partner, you're just doing this. They do Tuesdays and Thursdays, boom. And so you kind of can get the idea. Now, another thing that I always put on my calendar are all of my tasks as well, right? And I'm going to dive deeper into tasks in the next playlist that I have on here. But oftentimes I will have different tasks. Let's do this here. So pick up dry cleaning. And I schedule my task on my calendar for the time that I'm going to do it. Some people will put it as an all day. And it shows up on top, and then they'll click and drop it down into, when they're able to fit it into their schedule. That's perfectly fine too, whatever works for you. I find it more helpful for me, and I remember it better, and I make more time for it when I actually put it onto my calendar at some specific time. So let's just do it after work. So, and you do this, you fill out your entire days, right? From the time you wake up, I usually do a morning routine here. And I literally call it morning routine. I don't write down every single thing I do in the morning routine because I know how long it takes me. I know what I do. And I actually do that every single day. And then on, right? Until you fill out the whole week. Now, I don't get too specific when I have focus work. I don't always say exactly what that focus work is. Sometimes I do. But another tip I picked up from Brooke that I really actually like to incorporate a lot is instead of putting focus work, she puts the result that she wants to get from the item that she's working on. So let's say it's organizing somebody's email, right? So instead of saying focus work here, I'm actually going to delete this event and create a new event. It would be organize client X's or client Z's entire inbox, right? So the result is the organized inbox, and that might not be exactly, how she would phrase it or necessarily means, but you get the idea. Okay, so one thing where I was leading to last time, but kind of dropped off there, I don't always fill in every single minute of the day, although I do fill in all the things that I need to do, but it's important to leave time in between items as well, right? And I always like to leave an hour or two throughout my days for some flexibility, for some flex scheduling. The non-negotiables, of course, are going to be, work-related items, appointments, doctor's appointments, client sessions. But then I do like to leave some flexibility because things come up. You get phone calls, people come to the door that you forgot about. You had a vendor coming to work on something in the house, items like that. Life happens. So there has to be some flexibility built into this too. And the longer that you do this, the more you're going to become attuned to your lifestyle and how to build out the calendar schedule that works for you best. And then another thing I wanted to touch base on is you'll notice that I have my calendars, everything's falling apart. Okay. You'll notice that I have my calendar color coded. And when we set the calendar up together a couple videos ago, I mentioned that I just find it visually helpful. And the cool thing about Google Calendar in particular is you can use all sorts of different colors. So you can make it as visually appealing as you want to. So that's a lot of fun, but it also triggers me. I'm a visual learner. So it's helpful for me to look at my workload for the day or how many meetings I might have, or if I have a really task heavy day. to account for that when I'm scheduling and planning out my week. So again, a digital calendar isn't about being super rigid with yourself and, just like a taskmaster, but it is about creating a structure that gives you freedom ultimately. And that freedom that I'm talking about is mental freedom, so that we can, yeah, very nice. Okay. Mental freedom. So our brain isn't cluttered up, thinking about what am I supposed to be working on? Ooh, I can't, forget to do that one thing, right? Our calendar is the tool that does that for us instead of our brains, so that we can have more ease and more flow in our day. We can be more present with our lives, which ultimately just leads to a richer life. Okay, so the challenge for this week, for the next 7 days then, is I want you to take 30 minutes to an hour on Sunday or Monday, whatever works, for your schedule. And I want you to plan out every single thing that you need to do each day. So in that last video, we talked about consistently showing up and looking at our calendars. And now that we've built that habit, I want you to begin to plan your day out. And it's not just, your week and your day, i.e. But it's not just planning it out, right? It's also that second step of showing up for what you said you're going to show up for, frizzy hair or not, and doing the thing. So that is it for today. Very simple, hopefully realistic planning that's going to set you up for success. And if you're wondering, I mentioned a lot today about tasks. I am going to be doing a playlist next about task management, which is just something I get asked so many questions around. What's the best task list to use, or app, or how to do projects, multi-step projects. A lot of my clients come to me asking for help in how to do a task, which is ultimately a project is broken down into many tasks, but how to do some longer term planning. So stay tuned for my next playlist, where I'm really going to break down task management. And guess what? We're going to do that together as well. So I look forward to seeing you then, and hope you're having a great day.